First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to the Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, and the Heavenly Father. The true name is Yahweh, and His unbegotten Son, Ba'ashem, and the name of Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are their true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Nashwan Kadash, the Hotel. And I say Barak Thumb to the elders, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a sit-down lesson of current events that leading up to the increasing biblical signs of the times that we are in. And this is a first news article, especially, we've been seeing the rising tensions between North Korea versus South Korea. Yeah, North Korea versus South Korea, and then North Korea versus South Korea, and Japan, and the United States as well too. But you had recently the, I would say like a 3-day military exercise drills, because you had the United States and South Korea that wrapped up that. And then keep this in mind, I would say like day before yesterday, you had, I did a sit-down lesson on that a couple of days ago, you had North Korea, Kim Jong-un stated that, the Asian countries are building up a NATO type buildup, and North Korea sent the nuclear warning towards, South Korea and Japan, right along with the United States and South Korea. This recently did their 3-day military exercise drills to building up their cooperation, to continue building up their military, more and more of the ongoing threat that they have towards North Korea. And then you have this news article right here. This is from Arab News, and this is the latest one. I believe this was like the day before yesterday. And then you had it says North Korea tests launch 2 ballistic missiles after the end of the new U.S. South Korea, U.S. South Korea Japan drill. And it says North Korea tested fire 2 ballistic missiles on Monday. It says, but one of them possibly flew abnormally South Korea. The military says a day after North vows offense and overwhelming response to the new U.S. military drill with South Korea and Japan. It says the Joint Chief of Staff said in a statement the missiles were launched 10 minutes apart in a northeastern direction from the towns of Jangling on the southeastern of North Korea. It says the first missiles flew about 6,000 kilometers, and the second missile 120 kilometers, but didn't say where they landed. North Korea typically test fire missiles towards the eastern waters, but the second missile flight distance was too short to reach those waters. It says the Joint Chief of Staff spokesperson Lee Young-jong later told the briefing the second missile and suffering a possible abnormal flight during the initially stage of his flight. And it said that the missile exploded and dispersed, or likely had shattered on the ground, though no damage was immediately reported. Lee said any additional analysis of the second missile launch was underway. South Korean military cited an unidentified South Korean military sources reported that it was highly likely the second missile crashed in the areas of the north. The report said the first missile landed in the waters of the northeastern of the city of Chongjin. Right, so we definitely seeing this escalation zone going to heat up between North Korea and South Korea, right along with North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, and the United States. It says the Freedom Edge drill was meant to increase the sophistication of previous exercise with the simultaneously air and naval drills geared towards improving the joint ballistic missile defense and anti-submarine warfare, surveillance, and other skills and capabilities. The 3-way drill involved the U.S. aircraft carrier, as well as destroyers and fighter jets and helicopters from 3 countries. On Sunday, North Korean Foreign Minister issued a legitimately statement strongly denouncing the Freedom Edge drill called the U.S., South Korea, Japan participation in the Asian version of NATO. Right, just like I mentioned. It said it's arbitrarily openly destroying the security environment of the Korean Peninsula. It contains a U.S. intentions of a laid siege to China and exert pressure on Russia. The statement said North Korea will firmly defend the sovereignty, security, and interests of the state and peace in the region through offense and overwhelming countermeasures. Monday's launch was North Korea's first weapon firing in 5 days on Wednesday. North Korea would call a multiple warhead missile and the first known test of the development of advanced weapon to defeat U.S. and South Korean missile defense. North Korea said the launch was successful, but South Korea dismissed the North claim was deception to cover up failed launch. So it says, yeah, they're going to read out the rest of that. So that shows you that the tensions are Hello. All right. All right.
what you've got for father's rights. So whether it's family law, divorce, or child custody, Jeffrey Fleming is the man for father's rights. My responsibility is to you. This guy has spent his whole life fighting for dads, and he's here for you. So when you need help, go to Jeffrey Fleming. This dadsrights.com, because every moment your kids is one of their fight. Before the American female gymnast ever made 3 Olympic teams, first nothing done, and now recognized with emotion for Olympic medals by American female gymnasts. Soon he became the reigning Olympic all-around champion, 800 Tokyo, team silver, an individual bronze, one-time Olympic bronze, and USA squad returns 3 members from silver medal winners won in Tokyo. Their final gold in Paris begins on July 28th with women's qualification. Women's team final is set for July 1st. And Beacon, the organization's first day of technology, despite living a 15-hour day recently used part-time. Greg travels for 4 weeks since we have the title of the U.S. AP's Goodest Boy. So trying to find out if Beacon is going to go to Paris. If he does, I'm sure he's going to find first class because he's getting
Better life is lost. Goodest boy. We're doing this for Jay Harris and Christina Alexander. Betting you like the Apollo Tours heading to Philly on the October.
But first, let's get to some of the notable headlines today. NHL free agency kicking off today. The Cleveland Panthers keeping Sam Whiteman with an 8-year, $69 million and 67 goals this season as a winner and a game winner. And Week 7, the final short edition at Random Georgia, Seattle. In free agency, big under the radar group. Then I say Harkins in the Thunder for 3 years, $87 million. Because he had signed. And Sixers making another big look because maximum 5-year, short of $4 million package, actually having on with 26 points.
So I give for that momentary pause. I had to do something. So yeah, as I was did an overview of North Korea tested launch 2 ballistic missiles at the end of new South Korea and Japan drills. So they wrapped up that 3-day drill. And then you had another news article that just came out as well too, because the elder he had mentioned that after I got through watching him doing his sunrise spiritual speaking lesson, they were saying that I believe the European countries, European military bases was on high alert due to the increasing threat that they are facing. You know, as you've been seeing, the Russia-Ukraine situation been heating up, and then you had shout out to that brother Dabu. You know, he I believe he changed his YouTube channel. I believe it's called Surviving the End Times, or something like that. And then he did a video yesterday, I believe. You had military bases like from Romania and different parts of Eastern Europe, and they was on high alert due to the increasing threat from Russia. As we've been seeing, Belarus and Russia heating up against NATO as well too. So keep that in mind as well too. And that definitely goes into that Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, through verse 39, right along with Isaiah 13 and verse 17. But the Heavenly Father is going to stir up the Medes against Babylon, and as for gold and silver, they should not lie in it. So these is the latest news that's been increasing. So I'm going to look up some more news articles. Go to RT.com. So these are just increasing biblical signs of the signs of the times that we are in. They had one news article saying that Russia forces capture another Donbass village. And Says Russia strikes New York and Donbass giant bomb. What's that about? It says a Ukrainian commander center in a village in Donetsk People's Republic was destroyed. A video is said to be used of a Russia's new FAB-3000 heavy artillery area bomb against Ukraine positions. Right as we've been seeing the Russian-Ukraine situation, that's CDO. So that's a prime example of wars, rumors of wars. See some more news articles from the Jerusalem Post. Yeah, about 84.
$20.
Yeah, like 20. Yeah, 20.
Yeah, I got that.
Oh, yeah, I was letting that.
Yeah, well, I know we eating it.
Oh, right. And then you had another news article from the Jerusalem Post. It says rockets land in open areas after a wave of alarms in Israel's north, which is typical because we've been seeing the increasing escalations been heating up between the IDF and the Hamas as well too. It says 5 rockets were identified from Lebanon, right as we've been seeing the increasing cross-border conflicts been heating up between the Hezbollah, which is stationed over there in Lebanon, versus the Israel Defense Force, as they about to potentially for potential all-out war between both sides from Hezbollah and the IDF. So a cross-border escalation is only going to rise up between the Lebanese border and the Israel border. So that's only going to intensify on both sides. So that's another sign of wars and rumors of wars. Because it says again from the Jerusalem Post, July the 1st, 2024, following alarms in Mayan Barak at 5:31 p.m. Monday, 5 rockets were identified crossing from Lebanon and following in open areas with no casualties reported. The IDF announced Monday evening. In addition, after the alarms were activated in Donbass at 5:03 p.m. and alarms were monitored. Nataflali, if I pronounced that right. And it says, right, identifying crossing from Lebanon and falling into the open area with no casualties reported. Okay, so that's the latest news from the Western Asia, which is a modern day term they call and this is a news article from Reuters. It says Iraq claimed it has arrested a PKK linked cell suspect of planning attacks. The Iraqi said the arrest, right, that's that Luke 21 and verse 25. The progressive nations were perplexed with the siege raise war. And as you've been seeing, especially what's been going on over there in Iraq and Syria, as I've been mentioning countless of times when I've been out there teaching, because that goes into that Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, and these the nations Russia that's going to be guard unto. And plus, throughout Iraq and Syria, you have the Turkish armies against the Kurdistan armies. Because you've been having the Turkestan and the Kurdistan armies. They've been into each other for a very long time, since 1982, and all the way into now. So expect to see more of those escalations are going to heat up, especially from the pro-Kurdistan from their side. You have the PKK, which is the the PKK and the YPG. Both are pro-Kurdistan allies with Kurdistan against the Turkish armies, especially Iraq and Syria. And as you've been seeing, escalations been hitting up in Turkey as well too, from time to time, So you're still gonna have escalations on both sides from the Turkish armies and from the Kurdistan armies, and the pro-Kurdistan armies from the YPG and the PKK as well too. And this is a news article. It says, as of July 1st, 2024, by Reuters, it says that Iraq claims it arrested a PKK linked cell suspect of planning attacks. The Iraqi official said the arrest suspect has also planned to attack busy market areas in the capital of Baghdad. And there was pressure from the federal government or government forces against them. So that's a news article for wars, rumors of wars, upwars of people, world dispersed nations with perplexity and seas where it's born. Let's see. Then you had a news article right here saying that read this news article as well too. It says Iran's foreign minister warned Israel in talks with Turkey FM. It says the details of the conversation were reported in the Iranian state media, Press TV, and Al-Madani, which is a pro-Iranian. The reports indicated that this is an important development. It says in the development of illustration how Iran and Turkey coordinates policies against Israel. Iran's acting foreign minister, Ryan, that goes into the Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. Even though Turkey definitely been playing both sides of the fence, but Russia is definitely going to be a guard to these nations, and they're going to be targeting the IDF Edomites. And that goes into that Ezekiel 38th chapter. It says in the developments that illustrates how Iran and Turkey coordinates policies against Israel. Iran's acting foreign minister Ali Baghani spoke with his counterpart, Turkish foreign minister of foreign affairs, and warned Israel against escalating with Hezbollah. The Iranian claimed that Israel will face detrimental consequences if attack Lebanon, right? Especially the cross-border conflicts are heating up between the borders of Israel and the borders of Lebanon. But you have Hezbollah, which is stationed over there in Lebanon. You know, then you got the borders of Israel, which is the IDF Edomites. They're clashing against one another. So those escalations are going to spark more and more. And that definitely goes into that wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. In the meantime, we'll bring up Joel chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, for behold, in those days and that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, right? The Israelites, the actual Israelites. Joel 3 verse 2. And I will also gather all the nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahushua in Western Asia. And I will plead with them for my people, right? The real Israelites, the Heavenly Father's people, the actual Israelites, not those small hatters, not those IDF Edomites, but the actual Israelites. It says, and I will plead with them for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. Right in Luke 21, verse 24. Jerusalem shall be trodden down to the Gentiles in the field. That's what we're seeing. And they have scattered his people still to this day, the real Israelites. Joel chapter 3, verse 3. They have cast out for my people. They have given a boy for harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Joel 3, verse 4. Yea, would have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, like the Hamatic nations, and all the coast of Palestine, those Ishmaelites. Will you render me at recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, I will turn the recompense upon your own head, like told me. Verse 5, because you have taken my silver and my gold and carried them into the temple, my good and present things, right? The Israelites, the Heavenly Father's chosen people, the apple of the Lord's eye, which is the Israelites. Joel chapter 3, verse 6. The children also of Judah, right? Top tribe of Judah, and the children of Jerusalem, right? Jerusalem, rest of the tribes, because Jerusalem is a before it's a place. Have you sold unto the Grecians, right? The Edomites. That you might remove them far from their border, right? Still to this day. Joel 3, verse 7. Behold, I will raise them up out of the place where you have sold them, and I will turn your recompense upon your own head. That's why we're seeing Deuteronomy 30, verse 7 is in full effect. The prophet Joel 3, verse 8. It says, now sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, right? We're definitely going to be seeing that. So the Idumeans, the small hatters, they're going to be in the hands of the children of Judah as servants and handmaids and slaves. As you read Isaiah 14, verse 21. And the scriptural reference, he that lead into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the nations of the faith of the saints, which are the Israelites. So that recompense is coming upon them, just like it says in Obadiah 1, verse 15, and etc. You know. It says, and they shall said unto the Samaritans, those people over there in modern day Yemen, till people fall off, the Lord Yahweh has spoken it, right? So the Heavenly Father, Yahweh has spoken it. Now to get to the main point, this is Joel 3 verse 9, proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, right? And that makes perfect sense. Just like that latest news article just came out about these different military bases on high alert about the ongoing threat that they're facing. Especially seeing the NATO versus Russia that's heating up. The Russia-Ukraine situation is heating up. The United States versus Russia that's heating up. Now you got these Eastern European countries that's part of NATO. They on high alert because they facing some military nuclear threat from their adversaries. So these are prime examples of wars, rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And that's why the Heavenly Father continue putting that spirit on these armies of nations of being at warlike mindset. I'm going to read that again. Prophet Joel 3 verse 9, proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. Right, that's why it's heating up over there in Western Asia, especially the borders between Israel and Lebanon, Hezbollah versus the Israel Defense Force. What's taking place over there in the Arabian Sea, what's taking place over there in the Red Sea, what's taking place throughout the whole region of Western Asia. Nuclear escalations and tensions are something going to heat up more and more. Hey, what's taking place? Just like this news article that I just brought out. North Korea launched 2 ballistic missiles after the end of the U.S., South Korea, Japan drills. Another example of Joel 3 verse 9, the Heavenly Father's waking up the armies of these other nations. So what's taking place over there in Korean Peninsula? North Korea versus South Korea, that's only going to spark up more and more. North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, the United States, that's going to spark up more and more. What's taking place as of lately? Taking place over the disputed territory islands, China versus the Philippines, which is Japhetic people and the Moabites. They clash against one another over the dispute of a territory island not too far from the South China Sea. That's going to escalate more and more. With the Russia-Ukraine situation, that's going to escalate. What's taking place with the Azerbaijan-Armenia situation, that's going to escalate, and other different nuclear escalations and tensions are heating up around the world, so it's only going to continue to increase. This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 10. It says, beat your plowshares and swords and plenty of the spears, and let the weak say I'm strong. Right, just like the recent latest news articles of Iran building up their nuclear capability. North Korea building up their nuclear capability. The other nations building up their nuclear capability. So we're going to continue to see that, increasing more and more these times, And this is Joel chapter 3 and verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, which is the armies of the other nations, and gather yourselves together round about thither to cause like mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. Joel chapter 3 and verse 12. Let the heathen be awakened and come up into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh. For there I will sit and judge all the heathen round about. Joel chapter 10 verse 13. Look ye in the sickle, for the harvest is written. Come and get ye down, for the press is full, and the fast are full, for their wickedness is great. Joel 10 verse 14. Multitudes of the multitudes, and the valley decision. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is there to battle decision, right? So the day of the Lord Yahweh is there to battle decision. So we're going to see the increase of wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. The second will pass before the third will come quickly. Armageddon, God wanted. So that's only going to increase. So I'm going to look at some more latest news articles that lead up to Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's why he was getting the left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had that earlier.
Oh, he got on the left. Then he left with mine.
Right.
Same with Route 5. Yes, it stayed the same.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I did? I did it left.
Well,
It's supposed to be at 30 this morning.
yeah.
Because I ain't getting no text.
Right.
I ain't took no $20. I got some extra money. It ain't. I got 180.
Oh, 180.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
My balance, I got to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you did have one 122.
Mm-hmm. That's what I heard.
Right.
So you don't like that to go with
Right.
That's why I wouldn't get them pops and stuff.
Oh,
I ain't really got them. I told him my pop. I ain't going over what I did. They ain't great, man. It's real, man. I just take that from money, but he's doing it.
right.
Yeah, he makes some crap and stuff. I'm about to say, yeah. I like shit class. It's very, very good.
Right.
See what I'm gonna do today.
Yeah, sure. Oh, it's on the. Yeah, it's right. It's right up here.
I was thinking that we offline countdown to the new college football season. Throughout this month, the major conferences will make media days in advance of the coming season. That's all. But what's new is the college football playoffs is the changing the college landscape.
Just close your eyes. Conjure up images of crisp fall foliage swaying gently in the cool breezes of autumn. Snare snap of the drum. That's right. College football is just words. Electricity. What do you need to do with it? Because how can we do?
Yeah, Joel chapter 3, verse 13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, for the press is full, and the fast overflow, for their wickedness is great. Prophet Joel there, verse 14. Multitudes and multitudes without decision, for the dead and blow Yahweh is near without decision. Right, so the dead and blow Yahweh is near without decision. So we're going to continue to see the increasing and growing of the wars, rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom now, so more than ever. Check some of the latest news articles once again. It says a state of emergency declared on air Euphoria flight to Tel Aviv. Let's see. IDF, it says the IFA strikes Hezbollah target groups in southern Lebanon. It says U.S. destroyed 3 Houthi uncrewed surface vessels in the Red Sea. So as we've been seeing, the escalation's been heating up on both sides, especially over there in the Red Sea. I would say, the Houthi rebels. The Houthi rebels are using airstrikes to target anybody that's affiliated with Great Britain, the United States, and the IDF as well too, as they doing the protests to be on the side of the Palestinians and Hezbollah as well too. Ever since November of October of last year, escalation's been sparking up ever since then. So we're gonna continue to see escalations heating up over there in the Red Sea. You know, you're gonna have Great Britain and the United States and the IDF using airstrikes over there to target those Houthi rebels, which is heavily stationed, which they heavily taken over in the area, that command area over there. I would say over there in Yemen. So escalations is going to heat up on both sides, especially over there in the Arabian Sea, over there in the Red Sea, and throughout the whole region. So both sides is going to escalate more and more. You're still going to have the Houthi rebels targeting vessels over there that have very important items and goods that's importing and transporting. As you know, you had some of those ships, you know, had to like reroute throughout that area, you know. So that's only going to increase of that situation as well too. And let's bring out some more news articles. Yep, it says anti-tanks fire at Montolia, northern Israel, dissipates house. A vessel and crew safe incident in southwest Yemen. Okay. It says IDF killed groups in Rafah, diminishing the group's infrastructure.
Yeah, I agree. Georgia is the flying favorite to win. He's working on it today. All right.
See. Check the latest. Check some more out. Iran uses proxy militarized in Iraq to pressure the U.S., according to analysts. That's another sign of wars and rumors of wars. Blackouts and extreme heat plagues Egypt as government extends ruling electricity cuts. Houthis claim they will reveal a new kamikaze drone movement. Okay. It says Hezbollah thanks Iran for supporting amending rising tensions with Israel. This is another news article. It says Yemen's Houthis claim attacks on 4 vessels in the Red Sea and Mediterranean. Yeah, and I just mentioned that. Check out some more. But in the meantime, I'll bring up that Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. Let's see. And this is the prophet Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 1 reads, it says, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Ezekiel 38, verse 2, son of man, set thy face against God, and Magog, the chief prince of Meshach, Tubal, and prophesy against him. Ezekiel, right, that's what we're doing. We're prophesying against the bear of God, Magog, chief prince of Meshach, Tubal, which represents the Russian in modern day times. Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 3, and it reads, and thus saith the Lord Yahweh, thy power, behold, I am against thee, O God, and the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Right, so the heavenly father is against the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal in modern day times, just like in ancient times. So there's no new thing in the sun. That Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9. This is the prophet Ezekiel 38 verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth from all thy army, horse and horsemen, army and cloak of all sorts of armor, and a great company of bucklers and shields and armor and swords. Right, as I've been mentioning, I spoke about already about a couple minutes ago. So you still gonna have the rising tensions between the United States and Russia as it goes into that Isaiah 13 verse 17. And then you're gonna have escalations heating up between NATO and Russia and other adversaries of Russia as well too. So that's why we've been seeing as of lately, Russia been doing a lot of military activities, and they've been a lot of escalations as well too. You know, the Russia-Ukraine situation, putting all the other nations on high alert over there, the NATO countries. It's like I mentioned again, touched on that as well too. You know, because those NATO military bases on high alert. You know, they even have news articles to tell the allies to get out of Lebanon, you know, to get out of Israel because they deal with an ongoing threat of the Israel-Lebanon border situation. So that's going to escalate as it's about to enter an all-out war. So these are examples of wars, rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. As I add an additional side note to that, this is Ezekiel 38 verse 5. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, followed them with shield of him. And these the recent nations. Russia recently just had a meeting with, recently had a military exercise with, recently had a increase in military cooperation with as well too. Of the ongoing tensions they have against their adversaries, because these nations have they understand they have a common enemy, which is the United States and the IDF and the Western countries as well too. So these are the nations that Russia is going to be going unto. As we see, escalations are heating up at an all-time high over there in Western Asia. Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 5, where it began Persia, which is Elam, Ethiopia, the Cushites, Libya, with all of them with shield with him. Ezekiel 38 verse 6, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togomer of the north quarters, and all his bands, and people with him, right? Especially over there in Iraq and Syria. Escalations are heating up between the PKK and YPG, which is the pro-Kurdistan and the Kurdistan armies against the Turkish armies. So that's going to heat up over in the area. Ezekiel 38 verse 7, be thou prepared, prepare for thyself and all thy companies that are assembled unto thee, be thou a guard unto them. Right, so Russia is definitely going to be a guard to these nations.
Huh. Oh, okay then.
The best thing that happened in my career was coming up behind my sister. My dad, he got my sister out there, and then he started to say I was going to do it. I looked different. I played different. I was more emotional. I had muscle. I was something no one had ever seen. She became a monster on the court. So the way to step in
The ultimate fighter continues to heat up inside and outside the octagon. Team will get out and squaring off against Team Shevchenko. The next episode premieres tomorrow at Eastern on ESPN and ESPN.
Slovakia again for the momentary pause. Because I did that like 2 or 3 times, so Slovakia for that. Just having my family members up or something. So yeah, getting back to what I was saying. Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 7, be thou prepared, prepare for thyself and all thy companies that are assembled unto thee, be thou a guard unto them. Right, so Russia is going to be a guard to these nations, Iran, Ethiopia, Libya, and Turkey, because they have the same common enemy, you know. So that's why they're going to be targeting those IDF Edomites. They're going to be targeting Western countries as well too. So that's why Russia is going to be a guard to these nations, and the escalation is only going to continue to rise up, increasing over there in Western Asia. While we have the Russia-Ukraine situation, is only going to spark up more and more and more. And then, NATO versus Russia is going to continue to escalate as well too. And that's definitely getting into that Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. So I told you, plain makes a lot of sense. This is the prophet Ezekiel chapter 39 verse 1. Therefore, thou son of man, prophesy, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, thy power, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Ezekiel 39 verse 2. And I will turn thee back and leave but the 6th part of thee. And I will cause thee to come up from the north parts. And I will bring thee It says, and I will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel. Ezekiel 39 and verse 3. And I will smite thy bow at thy left hand, and I will cause thy arrows to fall at thy right hand. And this is Isaiah 13 and verse 17, and it reads, it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which they shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. As we've been mentioning previously about, Russia versus the United States, Russia versus the Western countries against Babylon, so that Bond going to continue to put that spirit on the Russians. This where it's to stir up the Medes against them, against Babylon, against the Western countries, against the United States. And as for gold and silver, they should not delight in it. So we're going to continue to see that increasing, now some more than ever. And as we officially, as Russia officially not too long ago, like 2.5 weeks ago, they mentioned that they look at the United States as the number one enemy, as the number one target, as an adversary to their country. So that's only going to heat up between Russia and the United States. And then especially like a week and a half ago, you had what took place over there in Crimea, and Russia blamed it on the United States. So that's only going to spark more tensions. And Russia said they was going to respond. Against that attack that happened towards them. So they're going to be potentially attacking the military armies, the U.S. military armies, and they're going to be continuing attacking the Ukrainian armies as well too. So that shows you that definitely that Isaiah 13 verse 17 is in full play, right along with Ezekiel the 38th chapter, verse 39, because Russia is going to be in guard to these nations of Iran, Ethiopia, Libya, and Turkey. Now let's get into that Isaiah 17 verse 1. As the escalations are heating up over there in Western Asia, especially over there in Syria, because you got a lot of different military activities, proxy wars, nations rising up against one another over there in Syria. So it's the ultimately battlefield over there in that area. This is Isaiah 17 verse 1. The burden of Damascus, behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be its own heap. Right, that's what we're seeing. As we've been mentioning countless of times, due to the increasing escalations at the borders of Israel and the borders of Syria over there in Damascus. As you can have the IDF using airstrikes constantly over there ever since 2015 all the way until now, targeting those their adversaries. With the pro-Iranian groups. You got the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps over there. You got the Syrian armies over there. You got the Russian armies over there. And that links up with that Ezekiel 38 chapter verse 39. And we're seeing Isaiah 17 verse 1 of Damascus is taken away from being a city. She'll be as one heat. So that's only going to continue to increase. So this is definitely a biblical prophecies are being fulfilled. It's going to come to pass. So these are definitely increasing of biblical signs, other signs of the times, according to the Holy Scriptures. And they're definitely going to come to pass and be fulfilled. So we're going to see more of these increasing signs as the latest current events that we see in the world today. That leads up to increasing biblical signs of the Holy Scriptures by the Heavenly Father. How we know. This is Jeremiah. Prophet Jeremiah 51 and verse 46. Make sure everything good. What yeah, Prophet Jeremiah 51 verse 46. It says, "And least your heart faint, ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. And a rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that another year shall come a rumor. And violence of the land ruler against ruler." Right, that's what we're seeing in modern day times. There shall be a rumor 1 year after that, then 1 year after that shall be a rumor, violence of man ruler against ruler. That's what we're seeing. Now let's get to that. This is the book of Habakkuk 2 and verse 1. It says, "No, stand upon my watch, and set upon the tower where I will watch to see what I shall answer, what I shall answer, what I will prove." Habakkuk 2 and verse 2. "The Lord Yahweh answer me and say, write the vision, make a plain upon the table that he may one that readeth it." Habakkuk 2 and verse 3. "For the vision is yet for the appointed time, but the end shall speak my lie, tearing way for it, because it will surely come." right? That's happening in modern day times. This is the modern day times of Habakkuk. So definitely the vision share from the point in time, but at the end shall speak. So it's speaking, with these current events that we're seeing, biblical science about to come to pass. Biblical science is only going to increase, going to be shown forth, it's going to be manifest. Just like it says in 2 Edges 9 verse 5, the beginning of the end is being manifested with these biblical signs and prophecies that's about to come to pass and be fulfilled. So the vision is shared from the point in time, but at the end shall speak, and our minds every way for it because it will surely come. We definitely see it surely come. And it's not going to tarry. So the vision is shared from the point in time, but the end is speaking. That's what we're seeing. Prophecies are speaking. Biblical signs are speaking. So it's going to come to pass and be fulfilled. So we are definitely already in those times. Now let's get into that. This is the book of Matthew 24 and verse 6. Yeah, this is a book of Matthew 24 verse 6. It says, "Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars." Right, that's what we're hearing, increasing wars and rumors of wars. We start to see these actual wars. We start to see the increasing of these actual wars. Actual rumors of wars starting to be actual wars, as we're seeing in our world today. So it's only going to be shown forth, and it's going to intensify, it's going to manifest, it's going to be revealed more and more in these times. So that's what we're seeing, especially over there in Western Asia, Valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahushua. Matthew 24 and verse 6. "Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Be ye not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet." Matthew 24 and verse 7. "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." Right, so you're going to have one nation rising up against himself, or you're going to have one kingdom rising up against himself, and one kingdom rising up against another kingdom. That's what we're seeing in our world today. It says, "And there shall be famines." Right, the famines, just like Amos 8 verse 11. It's going to be a famine of word, for lack of bread, for lack of water, for lack of resources. But the hearing of the words shall have fallen out. Pestilence, right? The measles outbreak, the monkeypox, the bird flu, the cholera outbreak, disease X. These are pestilence. With the weather conditions, tornadoes, earthquakes, landslides, floodings, famines, pests, plagues, etc. And earthquakes in diverse places. Right, we're going to continue to see the increasing of these high magnitude of the earthquakes in diverse places. Since I mentioned that as well too, let's get into the earthquakes. Even though I touched on this a while back, like a couple days ago. Yeah, the latest earthquake was outside of Papua New Guinea. That was a 5.0, and then you had the North Mariana Islands. That was a 5.0. Then you had one in the islands, Malenia Islands. That was a 5.1. Then you had another earthquake in the North Mariana Islands, 5.2. And then Indonesia, as the day before yesterday, that's a 5.2. In the island region, that was 2 days ago, that's a 5.6 magnitude earthquake. Then 2 days ago, the outskirts of Alaska, that was a 5.0 magnitude earthquake. Then 2 days ago, you had the earthquake out the outskirts of Peru, that was a 5.3. And I believe that 5.3 earthquake, that was the aftershocks of those earthquakes, that large earthquake that hit over there in southern Peru. I believe that was a 7.2 magnitude earthquake. And day before yesterday, which is Saturday, you had a 6.0 magnitude earthquake. So these are just prime examples of the latest of these earthquakes in diverse places. Then it was a news article from USA Today. It says over 300 earthquakes detached in Hawaii. The volcano has not yet erupted. So these are prime examples of earthquakes in diverse places, the famines, pests, plagues, etc. And these are increasing biblical signs according to the Holy Scriptures of Heavenly Father, how that we're going to see more and more increasing. This is Matthew 24, verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows, right? So all these signs that the Heavenly Father is showing us, these very important signs that we're seeing in our world today. So these just an increasing beginning of sorrows that we're going to see more and more increase. Since I mentioned that, right, since I read that Matthew 24, verse 8, I'm getting to that second edge of 16 verse 18. Yep, this is the book of Second Ezra 16 and verse 18 from the Apocryphal books of the Holy Scriptures. And it reads, the beginning of sorrows and great warnings, right? The beginning of sorrows, great warnings, the beginnings of famine, right? The increase of famine, of great death, lawlessness, iniquity, heavy judgment is going to increase. The beginning of wars, right? Wars, rumors, wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That's going to continue to grow, going to increase throughout the whole planet Earth, especially over in Western Asia. And the power should stand in fear. The beginning of evils, right? Lawlessness, spiritual creative nations. What shall it said, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Right, just like in Ezra time, he was going through that. Now, this is the modern days. These are the modern day spiritual days of Ezra. You know, which is our great forefather Ezra. So we're living in the modern day spiritual days of Ezra. Second Ezra 16 verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for the amendment. Now, if we switch it up, get into that Luke 21 verse 25. As we've been seeing the recent protests that have been taking place around the world, especially over there in Kenya, especially over there in Bolivia. This is Luke 21 verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and the moon, and the stars upon the earth. The distress of the nations will perplexity and seas rage war. Right, so these uproars in the world, we're going to see it increase more and more in this time. Now we go back to arabnews.com once again. So these uproars, we're going to see it increase more and more in these times. Yep, it says Turkey arrests 67 attacks in Syrian properties. Yeah, that's uproars in the world. So that's a prime example right there. This is a story about the one who keeps it home. Slovakia, if I can fast more latest news chronicles that they do to live in silence, especially with the uproars. Right, so with the latest ones, Donskis terror attack total hits to 22. Which that was like a couple of weeks ago. Oh yeah, like almost like a week and a half ago. Over there in the Donskis area. Let's see some more latest ones. And then you've been seeing the latest escalations been heating up over there in Myanmar. That as well too. It says 2 detained after attack outside Israeli embassy in Belgrade. Right, we definitely seeing the latest attacks in these Israeli embassies as of late, especially in the year 2024. Hey, that makes perfect sense. That's another prime example of that Luke 21 verse 25. The stress of nations were perplexity and seas rage warm. Second Ezra verse 3 of wars and earthquakes of wars in the world. So you're going to see this increase more and more. Seditions, like it says, Second Ezra 15th chapter, seditions among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and of course their actions stand up. That's what we're doing. That's what we're seeing. Citizens rise up against their leaders. And then you have this news article was yesterday. It says 1 dead, 5 injured in a France building home attack. Yep. Another prime example.
Hi, I'm Janice, and I lost 170
So these seditions,
A friend told me that I was the only one who believed that her
continue to
being was
increase.
beautiful on the outside as I on the inside. Once I
Yeah,
saw
18
Lola was
killed,
working
42 injured in a multiple Nigeria suicide attack emergency service. Then you have oh yeah, this was from yesterday, which I did a lesson on. It says North Korea blames South Korea, US, and Japan tied as a NATO version of NATO, which I touched on that earlier. It says a Russian attack on southeastern Ukraine town killed 7 officials, which was like 2 days ago. It says Bolivia. It says yeah, this makes sense. That goes into that Ezekiel, the third chapter. It says Belarus bolsters air defense forces along Ukrainian border. Yeah, that goes into that Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. As we've been mentioning countless of times. Because, keep in mind, I would say like a month and a half ago, you had the president of Belarus send that nuclear warning towards NATO. While you had Russia recently deployed their military soldiers over in Belarus and their military equipment over in that area to building up their defense against NATO. And then NATO been doing their military exercise drills, getting their preparation against Russia and Belarus. So that's only going to continue to increase. So that makes perfect sense. So I'm going to read this news article. Yeah, it says this was June 29th, even though this is like 2 days ago. This is July the 1st. Yeah, it says Belarus bolsters air defense forces along Ukrainian border. As we see the Russia-Ukraine situation is heating up now so more than ever. It says Belarus has deployed additional air defense forces to its borders with Ukraine to protect critical infrastructure facilities due to increased Ukrainian drone activities in the area. And Belarus military commander said on Saturday, which is 2 days ago, today is Monday. Belarus, an ally of Russia in the war with Ukraine, said earlier this week it had shot down a quadcopter, if I pronounce that right, that it legally crossed the border from Ukraine to collect information about Belarus's border infrastructure. The situation of the airspace of the border remains tense. Andrea Sabinsky, commander of the Belarus Air Defense Force, said on Saturday, "We are ready to decisively use all available forces and means to protect our territory and the population of the Republic of Belarus for possible provocations in the airspace," he said in a statement published of the Defense Ministry Telegram channel. The defense military said earlier on Saturday it has information showing Ukraine it has been moving more troops, weapons, and military equipment of the northern Sitdown region, if I pronounced it right, which Belarus was the borders of Belarus. This brought no immediate comment from Ukraine. That goes right along with the Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. So that's Luke 21 verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars upon the earth. The squares of nations will perplex you. Yeah. Now I'm getting into that second address now, verse 3. Then I'm going to switch it up and get into that MOTB of the Central District Currency of Cash Society. And this was leads up to the latest biblical, the latest current events. That leads up to more biblical signs of the times. Second address, chapter 9. Matter of fact, second address, 15th chapter. Let's say Slovakia. Second, I'm starting at verse 14. This is a book of second address, 15 verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Woe means discretion and great distress on top of that as well too. Second address, 15 verse 15. "For the sword and destruction draweth nigh. One people should stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands." Right, you see that worldwide. And this is second because of modern day swords. Well, second address, 15 verse 16. "For there should be sedition among men, invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions stand in their power." Young citizens rising up against their enemies in power, and they take it up to a whole level, and it's only going to increase more and more. Second address, 15 verse 17. "A man should reside going to a city, should not be able to write martial laws, checkpoints, state of emergencies, high alerts, So this is a prime example of a man should reside to go into a city, should not be able to during the time of church trouble, the hour of temptation, the famine of word, great seditions, uprisings, the great insurrections, spiritual great conventions, perilous times, great tribulations. So this is a time that makes perfect sense because as we approach those times, as we see it clear as day, Hey, so a man should decide to go into a city, he should not be able to. And these are the times that we're about to approach it. Second Edges 15 verse 18. For because of their pride, right? Proverbs 16 verse 18. Pride before destruction and all spirit before a fall. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the house shall be destroyed, and man shall be afraid. Second Edges 15 verse 19. And man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword, spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. Right, Matthew 24 verse 21. Matthew 24 verse 12. Isaiah 19 verse 2. Mark 3 verse 23 to verse 26. Luke 12 verse 51. Through verse 52 to verse 53, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm correct, yeah, you come. Now let's get into this Slovakia. Now I'm going to switch to the spirit, get into Revelations. Look up this article. Let's see.
When you overdo it, undo it with a Pepto that's right for you.
So as we've been seeing the latest of the central digital currency is increasing. As we see, the nations are turning away from the American dollar and the euro dollar as well too, which they definitely surpass due to the trades from these nations. As we've been seeing, the statistics been increasing from last year and all the way to now. So we're definitely entering in a time where because the paper dollar, that's going to be the thing in the past. As we enter this digital dollar, this digital currency, and the full mandatory implementation. The full implementation. Implementing of the full of this RFID and the CHID, to anywhere to buy or sell. And this is what we're about to enter into the cashless society, the pushing of the fully revealing of the digital ID, the digital wallet, the digital currency, the digital dollar, because this is going to be a new form of currency. As we were seeing Elon Musk a couple of months back revealed that that technology, is going to be part of that as well too. And other alternatives that we're going to be seeing, they pushing for more towards this new form of currency, a new form of way of living in order to buy or sell, to be able to do anything in the society. And this is what they're pushing for. Revelation 13 verse 16. And it calls of all who small, great, rich, or poor, free of bonds, receive a karat in their right hand, in their FOREHDADS. Right, so even if you're upper class or lower class, to take this NOTB, they're going to want you to take that. Hashtag no diddy. Take that. So locked from a follow. Revelation 13 verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, say that he had the karat or the name of the BEAST or the number of his name, right? So in order to buy or sell, you have an RFID, CHID that they want you to store in your body, the upper part of your body, right part of your body. So be able to scan the game, scan your hand, scan your hand or scan your body. See if you got that RFID and CHID, so you're gonna go to a grocery store and see if you got that. They're gonna detect your body, see if you got that RFID and CHID. Anywhere that you go on your everyday basis, to make any transactions, to enter like a store, enter any place, enter your job, into your store, into any place particular that you know go on your everyday basis. They're gonna scan your body, see if you got that RFID and CHID to make any transactions, to make any move in this society that they're about to push forth. This is Revelation 13 verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him have understanding. Count the number of the BEAST, for is the number of a man, and his number is SIX 303 score in SIX. Now let's get to that. Get that. Revelations 14 verse 8. Yeah, this is Revelations 14 verse 8. It says, "And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all the nations drink the wine of wrath of her fornication." Right, so we see in modern day Babylon is fallen. Revelations 14 verse 9, and the third angel followed him, saying with a loud voice, of any man worship the BEAST in his image, received a Quran in his hand, right, in his apple, or EHEAD, or in his hand. Revelation 14 verse 10, the saints shall drink the wine of wrath of Yahweh, which poured without mixture, and the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. Revelation 14 verse 11, and the smoke of her torment ascending up forever and ever, who has no rest day or night, who worship the BEAST, right, the system, in his image, and whosoever received the Quran of his name. Let me bring out some latest news articles. Even though this was recently, though, even though I spoke about it recently already, it says Swift planning a launch of new century digital bank currencies. And as I've been breaking up those other news articles of these different countries that's following the leads of the BRICS nations, so they could follow their lead, because they're gonna have a new meeting coming up, I believe this month of July or August, if I'm not mistaken, like they originally did last year, in July or August. They're gonna have a new meeting this year as well too, to fully introduce a new form of currency, gold and silver, because this is gonna be the new form of currency of the BRICS nations. They, I believe the BRICS nations formed in 2014 and 2015 all into now, to overthrow the American dollar, to overthrow the EU dollar, as the nation's been following the lead to turning away from the EU dollar and American dollar, as they get closer and closer to the new form of currency, which is a digital currency, the digital dollar. And that's going to be a new form of currency, like I just told you already. As I brought out that Revelations 13 verse 16 through verse 18, Revelations 14 verse 8 through verse 11.
Number one, the only difference is we're not going to get the market.
Let's see. Yep, so hey, so with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson was edifying of the current events and the couple of news articles that I just brought out to help me with the scriptures to bring that out as well too. So we definitely gonna see more increasing biblical signs of the signs of the times that we're in, and we're gonna continue to see the prophecies that's about to come to pass and be fulfilled as well too, as the latest current events, that we see in the world today that leads up to increasing biblical signs, increasing biblical prophecies according to the Holy Scriptures by the Heavenly Father is going to come to pass and be fulfilled. So with that, hopefully this lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Shai. And excuse me again for the momentary pauses back and forth, because I had to go do something since I get for that. So with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Shai. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, B'Kakadash, in the Heavenly Father, true names of Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Ba'ashem, in the name of Mashiach Yahushua. Those are their true names in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew, the Lashwan Kadas, the Holy Tongue. I say Barakathon to the elders, Wa'akim, Akwaf, as always. Until next time, I will say Kwam Yasharam and Shalom.
It's indeed a